Hello, this is Mike Klinetobe, about ready to take off on a 1.1 podcast walk. Yes, this will be my first podcast, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm here in Clemmons, North Carolina. And as you can see by the odometer here in my car, it's 97 degrees outside right now. It's about 4:15 p.m. on Sunday. And so about ready to take off here, just kind of getting ready, gearing up for it. Actually, first thing I'm going to do is I'm parked over here at Novant Health, the Clemmons Hospital. It's been here for about, 6-7 years, I believe. And anyway, I'm parked over here in the team medical parking lot, just outside one of the branch locations here. And I want to go walk over there first to that a tree stump, what's left of the tree stump there. It looks like it must be 200-300 years old. I'll try to measure the diameter over there. But anyway, this is just a really nice area over here. It's kind of what people refer to as New Clemmons. And this is where the Novant Hospital is, the Clemmons Hospital. And got a new roadway right there that goes around this hospital and it goes over towards Morgan Elementary, which they're just about ready to open up, I think, on August 28th. So let's get underway here. Fasten my seatbelts. Let's turn the car off. I'm going to miss this 68-degree weather here inside the car, but it's time to proceed. Okay, there's a kind of a long distance picture of the hospital over there, which you can see there, over there to the right there beyond this building is the emergency room entrance area, and then the main hospital. We'll be walking by over there in just a little bit. Here's this building over here has got some specialty doctors, including my mom's doctor, Dr. Mistrot. He's the colon and rectal doctor that's been treating my mom for the last probably the last three months or so, 3-4 months. What a great man, Dr. Mistrot. He healed my mom by the power of his words. Unbelievable. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little later on. Anyway, let's walk over here to this giant-sized tree stump. And I don't know how long my camera is going to last out here in 97 degree. You know, on the iPhones, when they heat up, they turn off to get a little bit cooler. So here we go. Did a nice job preserving this. Look at this. This looks like a redwood. Look at the size of that. That's got to be 1, 2, 5 feet across in diameter. Unbelievable. So let's get underway with the power walk, the pod walk. Let's come up with a name here, the pod walk. My first podcast, and I think I've got about a 1.1 or 1.2 mile trek to go. So let's head over, just kind of wrap around the parking lot here. And Dr. Mistrot is up there on the 3rd floor. It's got a great staff. Very friendly whenever you go in there. By the way, Dr. Mistrot is a great, besides being a great doctor, a great man, he's a great Christian and a great Catholic. Because he and his family go over to Holy Family and also over to St. Leo's from time to time. Okay, let's walk down the parking lot here. Let's see, I think there's a sidewalk over here. Yeah. Just take the sidewalk over here in front of the entrance to this building. And the building down there, we'll be walking by there in just a few minutes. But that's where the LabCorp is for testing, blood work, etc. Here we go. Said Novant's done a really great job. Just put on all-purpose hospital out here in Clemmons. Great job. There's the entrance right there. It's Sunday afternoon, so they won't be open right now. I want to walk around here. This is something I discovered a couple, 2-3 weeks ago when I was over here. Got a little multi-purpose outdoor court. You can see they're striped off for, I don't know, a little soccer, football. Of course, the basketball goal and court down there at the end. This is open 24/7. And what they keep this available for anybody over here at Novant, maybe has got a family member in surgery. This is just a place where they can come over here, maybe shoot a few hoops. The kids can have a little fun. And got a little indoor activity on the inside there. But what a great thing. So let's just wrap around the parking lot here again. Got these emergency posts that are lit up in blue. Of course, they show up very nicely at night, but in case you're over here and you have an emergency, that's a call, and you get that right away. It'll be available right away. This is Clemmons. Wow. Beautiful. Yeah, my folks and the rest of my family, they moved here back in, I believe it was June or July, maybe July of 1973 from California. My dad had accepted a job with Haynes. He had been working for Legs Products out in California, Buena Park, where we lived. And they asked him to come to Winston-Salem to save the Haynes Knitwear Company, another division of the Haynes Corporation. So they came back in 1973, the end of summer. I think they all enrolled. I think they enrolled in West Forsyth. I think everybody was going to West Forsyth High School. I think Lori was a senior. Dan may have been a junior or sophomore. Carol, maybe in the 9th grade. Maybe Carol started off at Kennedy. Can't remember those details. But that was the start of a brand new, I was going to say chapter, but really had a lot of chapters already in our lives by 1973. Probably had several books under our belt. So this was a new book. A new book. 1973. July, August. And actually, not too far from here, just over that tree line there, over in a place called New Meadowbrook, and lived on Lake Lassiter. Had a great house. Lived there for 73 until around 84, 85, when my dad and mom moved to Asheboro. My dad was going to start with Stedman Corporation, and that's another book called Stedman with a lot of chapters. Let's just take a little walk over here towards this what they call the Medical Plaza, and yeah, that's a nice little area over here. Even during the week, Monday through Friday, not a whole lot of cars. You basically can get in and out of any of these services. There's the original building we walked by just 5 minutes or so ago. But over here is Novant Health, 7114 Cardiology, 7122 LabCorp, Salem Surgical, Village Point Family Medicine, Orthopedic and Rehabilitation Center. Tobacco-free campus. Wonder what R.J. Reynolds would be thinking about that. He'd be thinking about it being pretty good. Novant Health, Clemmons Medical Plaza. There's LabCorp right there. So last time brought Mom over here. She got some blood work done. Everything was A-okay. All right, let's head over to the. I think they officially call this the Walkaround. So we'll just head over there by way of the walking path here. Oh, here's some shade. It feels good. Actually, so far not too bad walking out here. I guess it's good to kind of keep in motion. Landscaping is beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, we'll head across the street here. Road guards left and right. Okay, back on the walk around. So this is my first podcast. Well, actually, not really my first. Helen and I, we produced maybe 4 or 5 podcasts back on and around Election Day, General Election Day 2020, November 2020. we felt like the election was a debacle, as it turned out to end up being. And we had a word or two to say about that. So we produced 4 or 5 podcasts, about 10 minutes each. And Helen was tremendous in the podcast. I mean, she spoke from the heart, and about ways, just about, this is not right. What they're trying to do, this is not right. And all of those things that were related to that election. In fact, on election day 2020, I was working for the Forsyth County GOP, and I had 2 assignments during that election cycle, leading up to election day. One was the first day of early voting was to be downtown at Forsyth County offices where they had early voting, and I was a poll worker out in front of the building, at least 50 or maybe 100 feet in front of the polling place there, which was huge. A lot of people came in that day, and I handed out sample Republican election ballots. Talked to a lot of people. A lot of people I talked to were voting for Trump, and looked like everything on the outside was going okay. I went on the inside 3 or 4 times to do a little watching, and I don't know, some suspicious looking faces on some of the people that were working in there, but all in all, looked okay. Then my next assignment was not until election day, when I worked at the polling place at Holy Family Catholic Church. Actually, that sort of started the night before, when I went to the Forsyth GOP headquarters and picked up 15, 20, maybe 25 yard signs for Trump, mostly for the local officials, and went over to Holy Family Catholic Church. It's about 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock, it was dark, and I see this guy walking out of the poll that was set up on the inside in the multi-purpose room of Holy Family. And the guy walks by me, and he's just got a real look on his face, like he just, had just done the Brinks job. Anyway, got all my signs set up out there, and I was going to be coming back at I think around 6 a.m. the next day. But before I did, I went over to the where the polling place was going to be on the inside of the multi-purpose room at Holy Family, and the door was open, wide open. And so then I walked in, felt okay about doing that since it was my church, and concerned about my church's property, and walked through the actual polling, looked at the voting machines. There was one that was running. Everything else was pretty much shut down. Took some pictures, walked out of the election room area, back through the main church, said a quick prayer, and then went home and told all of this to to Helen. We talked about it for about an hour or so that night. Next day, I got up early. Got over there around 5:36 over at Holy Family. All my signs had been moved back to the back. So I spent the first hour or so reorganizing my signs, my GOP signs, setting up my table, arranging things, getting things ready. Had plenty of instant hand sanitizer. I went over to Staples and bought about 100, maybe a couple hundred masks, because we were still in COVID. So I was going to hand out masks to anybody coming in by me. And then on the way out, I had some additional literature and some snacks and some water for anybody that came back by. Did that for 13 or 14 straight hours. I had a Trump 2020 hat on. I was the only one that I saw all day long that had any kind of Trump material, t-shirt, hat, wearing anything, any kind of apparel. I talked to a lot of people that day. A lot of people walking in kind of like, going along with the greeting on the way in. And then on the way out, a lot of them would stop by. And what I mean by a lot, almost all of them would stop by. If they voted for Trump, it almost seemed like all of them would just kind of lean over and with their hand out, covering their mouth, they would say things like, "I sure hope to God Trump wins tonight." Things like, "Let's hope so. Oh God, I hope so." I mean, there's so many people that did that. I met another poll worker. She was actually in from California. She had driven all the way from Los Angeles all the way out to Clemmons to help with the pre-election GOP. She went to many places. Anyway, she was great. What an activist. Positive activist. What a great almost morning and afternoon we had. She had an election official credentials, so she would go inside the polling place and be an observer, ask questions, observe, and then make notes. And she did make notes, and then reported that to the Forsyth County GOP officials that came over with a camera crew at the end of the day. It was not the end of the day, it was about around 5 o'clock. And they wanted to interview me. And I said, I've got somebody right over here who's been working with me that you really need to interview. So I turned it over to her. And she really gave it to him about, some strange, possible fraudulent things that were going on right there in the polling place at Holy Family Catholic Church. And anyway, I'll probably never see her again. What a great individual for the cause. And so I stayed all the way until 7 o'clock. There was one thing that Biden, or the Democratic Forsyth County Party, they had a tent full-blown tent set up. They probably had all day long, in and out, 10 workers going for Biden, passing out all kinds of freebies. And that was what I was up against that entire day. But at the end of the day, that precinct there went 75% for Trump, 25% for Biden. Then looking a few days later, looking into the public records, Biden won early voting, Biden won absentee voting in a Republican district. So, don't think we have a final conclusion on that one. That's just one of how many millions of precincts around the country on election day. Yeah. Here's the entrance. Clemmons Medical Center. Anyway, my mom came over that night, over to our house, over in Clemmons West, and all three of us watched the results in disbelief. Helen went berserk. Don't think my mom had ever seen Helen in that kind of mode. But, you know, Helen is passionate. We got things calmed down. And I think Helen and I we stayed up through the night, overnight, and all the way into the morning, while my mom went upstairs to get some sleep. Okay, here we are back at the, this is called the Clemmons Surgical Plaza. All right. Yep. Yeah, okay. And then this is orthopedics and sports medicine, sports performance and rehab, urology, Clemmons outpatient surgery, and colon and rectal clinic. That's where Dr. Mistrot works. I'm going to cut through the parking lot. You might be able to see my car all the way down there. Way down there, but deep 40. Actually, 40. You might be able to hear it over there. Those are the cars and noise of Interstate 40 here in Clemmons. You know, before Novant, way before Novant, it was called the Forsyth Memorial Hospital down on Silas Creek Parkway. Been there a long time. Patrick, my son, was born there, 1983. Jessica, my daughter, was born there in 1986. We're not really sure whether that was October 2nd or October 3rd. Only Jessica knows. I'm getting a little breeze right here now. This is nice. Feeling nice. Novant, great job. Oh, there's the old car, the 2018 Ford Focus with 50, I think it's 51,000, maybe 52,000 miles on it. A lot of good miles there, a lot of miles to remember. And that'll be in forthcoming podcast. The WalkCast. Man, I sure hope there's something waiting for me back here. Let's see here. Oh, God we trust. That's a good saying. Let's see what we got in here. Okay. This looks like a little ice chest. Feels kind of cold in there. Whoa. Wow. Big Boss Trail Guide, West Coast style Indian Pale Ale, with the guy riding on top of the bear. I think that might be you, Patrick. Up in Appalachian, when you were up there in Boone from 2001 to 2005, and shortly after you were up there in Boone in 2001, all of a sudden, 9/11, September 11th, 2001. And I think, Patrick, you remember me giving you a call a little later that morning, asking if you were okay. And you sort of said, yeah, I think we're okay up there. Well, as it turned out, we all are okay. Everything is gonna be all right. Everything gonna be all right. I'm gonna send a song that I heard on YouTube Music earlier today called Everything Gonna Be All Right. I want you to listen to it, and it applies to each and every moment of your life. Cheers. That was a 3-gulper. And man, does that taste good. Until next time, this is Mike Klinetobe saying,